All right, even though the whole front of this worksheet was on triangle similarity, we have a little review problem here, back to old school congruency. So reset your brains here for a second. We're going back to congruency. So same thing, if you want to do a 2-column proof, we just get the statements and reasons set up, little T-chart. All right, so let's go with what our givens were. We were told that side SO is parallel to side JL. And so SO parallel to JL. So I'm going to mark on the picture the little parallel symbol, and over here I'm going to write given. When I have parallel lines, I know I have a whole bunch of angle relationships that are going to come from that, so that's most likely going to give me a pair of angles here coming up. All right, next, in the picture, I can see some other stuff, but I'm going to go back to the other given first. U is the midpoint. Actually, I'm going to write this down one step. Of JO. So my 2 givens are accounted for. Now, what comes from the first given? Oh, jumping all over the place. U is the midpoint of JO. So if that's the midpoint, I now know that. Okay. So let's go write what comes from each of these givens. From the parallel lines, can't I say that alternate interior angles are equal? So I could say that angle S is congruent to angle L. Or alternate interior angle theorem. And if U is the midpoint of JO was a given, then can't I say that OU is congruent to JU? And that's by definition of midpoint. So remember, when we give you parallel lines, we're expecting you to know that there's some sort of angles that are true. When we give you a midpoint of a segment, we're expecting you to know that there's 2 sides that are congruent. 2 little segments. So midpoint of a segment gives me 2 baby segments. Parallel lines give me 2 angles. All right, so I've got a side from the midpoints. I've got an angle from the alternate interior angles. Is there anything else you can see in the picture? You are right. Those little vertical angles. So I'm going to say angle OUS is congruent to angle JUL by vertical angles are equal, or vertical angle theorem. Okay, so now I've got an angle, I've got another angle, and I've got a side. So I do have enough for congruency by angle, angle, side. And so let's state that the triangles are congruent. And let's see what it said up here in the proof. It just says prove the triangles are congruent. So you can do any letter order. Triangle OUS is congruent to triangle JUL by AAS. So we're just trying to prove the triangles are congruent. There's no additional steps by CPCTC or anything. It is just done. How'd you do? This is going to be on your upcoming test still, the Module 5 proofs on congruency.